we have Mr. Falgun Jani and Rudi from Freudenberg Medical. Sir, thank you so much for talking to Pharma India magazine.
Thank you.
It is wonderful to see you here in CPHI India edition. So, can you please talk about the kind of participation you have here in this expo?
Basically, one of the very important thing why we keep on coming here is to basically meet and greet our customers. We meet friends like you. Of course, we meet our partners here, and the major reason why why we are here is to show the brand, show our basically innovations. Every year we try to introduce some new products for Indian market. So this is a very good platform. We see that, and that is another. We also participate CPHI globally as well, and that makes kind of our interaction and bond very strong with the customers. So that may be one of the reasons we have been continuously coming here, and this thing is growing.
Yeah. Thank you. And Rudi, how big is medical market in India for you?
The medical market is smaller, but the pharmaceutical market is bigger for us. If you look at the overall market size of India, definitely that would be an interest. Right now, our focus is here, specifically also with the CPHI, is the biopharma market. And of course, there's sizable options out there. And with India being in the forefront of biopharma manufacturing, of course, there's an ample of opportunities for us. I mean, what Falgun expanded on why we also at the CPHI is, it also gives us the opportunity to show what Freudenberg really is. So we have Freudenberg Medical, but overall there are 12 entities, 12 business units within Freudenberg. One of our sister companies is right next to us with filtration, but there are numerous others also in Freudenberg sealing technologies. They participate with some products in the biopharma space. And we have the performance material guys. They participate more in the medical device field with us, but it just shows the breadth and the know-how when it comes to material sciences and to taking an idea from customer from scratch over prototyping, small volumes into high serious production. And I think that's what Freudenberg is really good at, but that's what we also want to show the world, and especially want to show to companies in India.
And Indian companies, especially from pharma segment, have tremendous exposure towards global markets. And whatever the global trends happening currently, the volatility as well as the tariff issues are really impacting the pharma sector.
Yeah.
Now, even we see even German economy is also impacted with the current situation. Mm-hmm. How do you see that it's balancing with expanding to countries like India?
I think it's very. I was just thinking this morning about it. And I was traveling in other Asian countries just lately, and I thought the importance is that India is a democracy. We have Europe is all about democracies, and Europe is one of the largest democracies in the world. And it's important that we trade together, that we have this kind of intercultural trade. Only if we learn and trade with each other, we can both grow, right? And we can all grow. So for us, it's very important to have that kind of negotiation and also have the willingness to do business together. I mean, what we see, what terrorists can do, with some respect, will it work? We don't know, right? History has proven that terrorists can be very, very harmful, and even to the detriment of the global economy. So let's see. I mean, we all know it's more coming from the US. That, the president is running another 3 years, and there will be a new administration, and we'll see where this goes. But for the time being, of course, there is an impact on the overall global trade.
The market is always concerned about the quality aspect. Same time, Indian market is very sensitive about the costing or pricing, and your technology is coming from Germany, and it always have perceived value of it may be costly. And how do you deal with this kind of feedback from the market?
Well, it's important that we deal in the biopharma space. So what you see are fluid lines used in biopharma processing, and what goes through the liquids and the solutions, the proteins running through those lines, which then go into bigger bags and the bioprocessing machines and equipment, they can be a million in euros in value, right? So there's a huge value behind that. Now, do you want to jeopardize a million of worth in goods because you want to save a couple of cents in a tubing or in a solution? So I believe it's more about quality, right? And the consistency of quality, the reliability on quality, that's what's important. Of course, we understand we need to be competitive. That's a given. But sometimes what we see is that due to only focusing on price, the quality gets neglected. And if you're burned once in that industry, it's very tough, to convince anybody else. Then you have the right quality in place. That's Biopharma. You need to be reliable on quality. Quality is absolutely must, and it needs to be a constant quality, not just sporadic.
Probably you can add something to it, like you are someone who have on-the-spot experience when you meet customers. How do you deal it powerfully?
I mean, it happens. There's general perception, when something coming outside of India, it will be always expensive. So the moment if you discussion with commercial guys, any pharma company, their job is to keep the cost down. So they're always concerned about whatever the cost part. So we, in fact, try to maybe educate them that cost is not just per unit cost. For example, if you are using X amount of systems, let's just take an example of the conventional system which they are using, in which the tubing is there, connector is there and everything. So we have actually given them a comparison that, if you're using these systems, look how much energy expenditure you are happening, how many manpower which is used, how many man hours which are used inside this thing. So, sorry. So that is what it happened. Then we actually showed them the comparison that, this is your entire cost, not just a per unit cost. Look how much you are spending on this thing. And at the same time, if you're going for a single use systems, look how much you are saving onto this part. So it is all about, giving more education to the industry. And once at least they understand the importance of having a good quality product, then I think cost becomes a secondary part. But yeah, initial discussion always happens. It does not mean that we always try to dictate our price and everything. We are very flexible. We work with the customers, and as I understand, India is a very cost sensitive market because we deal in bulk. It's not something which we produce in small bits and pieces. Anything which goes at a very, very higher scale. For example, we have one of the world's largest vaccine manufacturer in India. We have one of the world's largest API manufacturers. Some of them are in India. Very peculiar formulations which are happening. Only India is one of the biggest manufacturers. So things keep on happening. It's not mine. So that is one of the reasons, and that is how we try to convince them. And second aspect comes the safety part of it. So for example, let me just show that this is also over molded assembly what we are giving. Something innovation. Yeah, the customer initially might perceive that might be costly, but this is give them 100% assurance without any leakage. It's a chemical bonding. So when you show all these aspects to them, then at least the cost becomes a very, very secondary or maybe third part of it. First then comes the quality, and once they start working with us, they understand the kind of reliability which we provide for us. Like we have standard tubings always available off the shelf, so lead times are very short. And the second question is always what about the lead time? We have everything covered and available. So once it goes, initial interaction you face those things, but our part is to educate them. Once they open their eyes, I think then the things are okay.
Talking about Indian market, India is giving more emphasis on Make in India initiatives, and we see today that Freudenberg Medical don't have a manufacturing facility in India or invested for that. But how do you plan to capitalize this market potential? Is this available from this Make in India initiatives?
Well, first of all, Freudenberg has a lot of facilities in India, and we employ a lot of people in India. It's just not Freudenberg Medical, one of the 12 business units. So that shows that Freudenberg is not shy to invest money. As soon as we see a potential, as soon we see there's a market we want to serve directly locally, that's not a question. But we are also running a business, so we need to be frugal with the money we spend, and we need to see a return on the investment. If not, the company wouldn't be there in 5 years or in 10 years. Right? So that just shows Freudenberg is willing to do that, but we need to take step by step. Of course, our aim would be to have one day facility here in India running. Absolutely. Yeah. But first of all, we first need to start somewhere. Right? We need to have some kind of groundwork laid.
That's right.
And based on that groundwork, the next step will come.
So you're waiting to see that economy of scale to start manufacturing in India.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you need to have some kind of base loading in any kind of facility. If not, you have a lot of equipment capital sitting idle. So you don't want to have that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And seeing the kind of precision products you introduce into market, a lot of innovation comes along with that. Can you also talk about the kind of investments you do in research and development, and what leads to this kind of regular innovations that you introduce?
Well, a lot of we pride ourselves on innovating together. That's the Freudenberg slogan, right?
Yeah.
So Freudenberg is a company now 176-year-old. So it's a very old company. And I think we only have reached that age because we're always at the forefront of innovation. It's the same with medical, as Falgun just explained. You know, being capable to offer a customer specific solutions which are different than on a standard basis, and being able to customize very highly customized or have really very highly customized products for our customers, that differentiates and that helps our customers to be more lean, to be more quality driven, and also be faster to the market. And so it's always a partnership between us, the customer, and a partnership we see us mutually together. That's the same approach we take in India. With that partnership, having that partnership and growing that one, that will then be the next step for us in India.
Absolutely. And sir, talking about the safety aspect, Indian government is taking a lot of initiatives towards enhancing manufacturing space more safer.
A lot.
Still, how do you see that? What kind of parameters need to get enhanced or improved to make a better working environment in India?
So I think when it comes to pharmaceutical, India is much more on ahead compared to any other countries in the APAC. I would say our FDA regulations are as stringent as US FDA. So there's absolutely no difference. Whenever some new things are introduced in US FDA, Indian FDA directly adopts that. So that way we are far more ahead in the curve. And in fact, India's pharmaceutical kind of quality and things which our customers are maintaining, that has been given as an example. That if you wish to see some plant, how it is operated, how it's quality maintained, go and see in India. So yes, and if that is also I have seen, if US FDA also comes and audits our customer, they are very stringent because they also see the kind of scale, again, it's higher here. If number of people employed here is higher, so they always try to put a thrust on each and everything, and hope and more or less in over the period of last 10-15 years, pharma has complied to almost every kind of regulation which has been set, every kind of guidelines which has been set. So that's where they are there. Yes, one of the more thing after COVID people have realized is that how can we increase our production efficiencies, how can we do more with the less number of spaces, and that is where there is an increased adoption of this single-use systems which has come into place. Earlier people were thinking of only in terms of one aspect, when how the cost will be defined, but when they identified that yes, it is we are spending just initially fraction of a higher cost, maybe point something 2% or things, but at the same time what we are getting is a kind of flexibility. Within my setup, I can manufacture multiple products utilizing these entire disposable system. It's a kind of plug and play device. We are also giving one step ahead with this over molded connections, so there is no chances of leakage. Again, it's very safe when you are manufacturing any potent drugs, anything which are oncology products, where you don't want any kind of spillage, any single drop of spillage. That means your entire facility is compromised. Even the operator safety is also compromised. So that is why nowadays we have started working with the customers a lot. They have started adopting. Now they are coming up with their own new ideas that how they want their facility to be more user friendly, more which is kind of predictable, give them predictable results and everything. That's why I think going forward in future these things will go much in a bigger scale. So right now also we have seen the customer has started even designing their even the civil infrastructure based on which they can only use the single-use assemblies. So for them even an empty space is also enough. They can just tell us how they want to design. Freudenberg will be able to design and customize the things as per the requirement. We'll be able to provide them a pre-sterile thing, so even a lot of time saving at their end back end, a lot of energy saving at their end, and that's where I think we are trying to help our customers.
Other than the molded joints, do you have any other innovations in this field here?
Here what we are introducing is last year we introduced a couple of new products. So that was a specific, I think one of them is this one, UV shield tubing. So again, for a very specific formulation. This year we are extending our line of single use assemblies. Initially what we are giving is some bottle top assemblies. Right now we are working with these kind of over molded connections, and those are many bigger and complex assemblies which are coming up. So our idea was to introduce this thing to the Indian market, and hopefully the customers are also perceiving it with very high regards. The next thing which we are doing is coming something which is from again a customer's perspective, and was a requirement. So we are implementing something which is industry first. I think in an entire single-use manufacturer, people who are involved, we will be the first one to come up with something which is called a washing and drying system for the assemblies. Now initially there was a question that why it is required. There are certain products which are extremely critical when they manufacture. It does not involve a final filtration step. So before that they wanted to have an added assurance. So they again came back to us. We had a discussion. They said, how can you help us to provide that added assurance? And then finally after the brainstorm, this thing came that why don't we add a washing and drying system also before we do it, a gamma sterilization of this pre-sterile assemblies. So we have those systems getting installed. Those will be validated, and now we are also asking our customers, feel free and happy to come and visit our Kaiserslautern plant. We can show them the entire facility. It is within the clean room, very confined space, and so that will give them added assurance that everything is absolutely particle free, no chances of contamination.
Thank you so much, and all the best for the upcoming plans.
Yeah.
Thank you for interacting with us.
Yeah.